In communication with Southern California, KHJ-TV Public Affairs presents Teen Talk. Studies show there are over 2 million public school children that have learning disabilities. Public Law 94-142 requires that all children classified as handicapped, including those with learning disabilities, receive an education appropriate to their needs.
Why is it that some young people can zip along in their studies, learn everything in a flash, and others face some difficulty in the same situation? The roadblock they face are the symbols of words and numbers. No one is too sure about the reasons for these differences, but anyone who has gone to school knows they exist. Some people learn more rapidly and others need more time, a bit more patience, until they too can take a step forward. I'm Joseph Feinstein, and today on Teen Talk we're going to turn our attention to several young people who, for one reason or another, have been classified as slow learners. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk. How do you react when you see those confusing symbols of words and numbers? What happens to you when you're reading or writing in the mathematics? Mark?
I sort of like, I picture in my mind, okay, what am I, what is this word? What is this number? And I go, no, I don't know it. And then I try to figure it out. And the one thing what keeps me going is that I just don't give up. And so whatever's going through my mind, I'm just saying, okay, I'll do it again. I'll go to the next question. I'll read another paragraph. Mm-hmm. But I just try not to give up.
Okay, I like that concept of not giving up, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, because I know that's one of the things that makes you so strong inside your head. Alberto, when you see the words and numbers, what goes on inside of you?
Well, like when I have a math problem and they got all kind of symbols and a lot of big words, my head is filled with a lot of words. Mm-hmm. And I try over and over to trying to solve the problem. But every time I do it just comes out wrong. So, so I just go to the teacher and we work it out. And
do you ever lose heart while this is happening? Do you ever lose, that drive, or do you keep on? How do you build yourself up?
Confidence.
Where does that come from?
From my brain and from my heart. Mm-hmm. I just try harder and harder every day.
From your brain and from your heart. That's a wonderful thought. What about you, Claudia? What happens to you when you see those symbols and words and numbers?
Well, when I see mostly symbols in math, I get mad sometimes, because as hard as I try to get the lesson, sometimes I do, but sometimes I have difficulties reading those symbols, like in algebra or something. Mm-hmm. I try as hard as I can, but sometimes I just can't do it, and I get mad at myself. But I just try to work it out, and if it comes out right, I check it out over and over until it gets in my head. And if not, I go up to the teacher, and she'll explain, or he will explain. And suddenly, when I know that problem I didn't work out, I did, whether I tried or not. Mm-hmm. That anger just suddenly goes away.
The anger goes away.
Yeah, it better.
Peace and calm happens. Maybe some of that confidence is coming in from Alberto, and he's sending it over to you at that point, something like that. You've had a problem with numbers for a long time, haven't you, Savag? How does this? What happens to you when you have this problem?
Well, what happens is that since I was in high school, I tried to learn algebra, but apparently because the teachers go so fast, that I misunderstand or I don't understand the concepts, involved in algebra.
Do you take Claudia's advice and Alberto's advice and go to the teacher and ask them for some help, or do you just throw up your hands in despair?
I despair, 50% of the time, but most of the time I don't give up. I stick with it until I could until I could comprehend, what's.
Oh, good. Good. So you're
What's there,
determined. You're
yeah.
determined. Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Danielle, I know you from way back when you were in my class, and I know that there was a problem for you. What is it like for you when you see all those reading assignments and so forth, and you struggle with some of those words? What goes on inside of you?
It makes me mad because I know I can do it. It's just when I don't, it gets me angry.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I go to the teacher, they explain it, and I understand sometimes, but if I don't, it's like, I don't know what to do.
Have you had this problem for a long time?
No.
This is a relatively new problem? Really? How long?
This year?
This year. It's been a problem for you this year.
Yeah, that I've really had problems in school.
Mm-hmm. Mark, have you had these problems for a long time?
Yes, my parents found that I had a learning disability before I was even in kindergarten, and it's just, I believe it's just getting better. I'm able to comprehend with it, and that's.
Does the disability have a name?
To tell you the truth, specialists and doctors really haven't come up with a specific name, so. I'm just going, take one day at a time, and that's the best I can.
The slow learner is not an isolated student, for there are over 2 million learning disabled young people. 1 in every 10 in America suffers from some type of perplexing difficulty. How do you express yourselves when you don't understand your teacher? Danielle, what do you do?
I ask the teacher to explain it to me again.
Mm-hmm. And does he or she do that for you?
Most of the time.
And what happens if they say, oh, I'm too busy, or where were you, or you weren't paying attention, Danielle?
I go to school to learn. You're a teacher, you should help me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the teacher, you should help the students.
Do you say that to the teacher? You kind of think it. I wonder if you say it.
No, I do. I really do.
Really?
To some teachers.
And how do they react when you say that?
They're like, we'll come after school or something.
Come after school, or see you next week, or
yeah.
next year, or, see me when you're 97 years old and I'm 1,000. What do you do, Mark?
I try. It's very difficult for me to come up to the teacher right when I don't understand something, and I really should. I guess it's because, well, what are they going to think of me? But if I'm really comfortable about myself and about the teacher, then I'll ask the teacher, and I guess I'm worried about the response I get.
Really?
Okay, it's like you don't understand it, or and that's happened. Because there's certain teachers who can't see why I can't understand their material, because it might be easy for you, but it's not easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of what I experience is that many teachers really know the answer, and they want the answer, and they want it now, very, very quickly. And yeah, there's some part of it that's impatient, some part of it that lacks the surprise or the understanding that not everybody works at the same level. We all work at a different level. Do kids ever fool you, or do they kid about the fact that you're not reading so well, or you don't do as well in your classes?
Well, no, they really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of them, yeah, they do, because they like to tease people.
Yeah.
But what I hate about them is that I am in a higher level that they are, and they tease me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really don't like. And most of the time they don't, because I'm really serious in class. I hardly have any friends. And the ones I do, they're really close friends. We get along fine.
Mm-hmm.
But some students, they're just they like to do that.
Right, I know. And this is the part that upsets me so often when I was teaching remedial classes. I started the basic program at Grant High School 25 years ago. And I can remember that the kids, one of the ways that kids who don't have too much on the ball insofar as school is concerned will often tease others who are even weaker than they. Did you get teased a lot?
I got teased
You're thinking, and you're.
Okay, I got teased in the sense okay, that I heard some students say, that that guy is stupid or something. That's why I got teased. But I wasn't. People were more understanding, than they were teasing.
I got a feeling that because of the stutter, that a lot of what you want to say and the stuttering holds you back, and it kind of changes the way people think about you, and they can't imagine, that you can really be intelligent and sensitive and aware. I think that's,
yes.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
I know, and very often people won't give you the time that you need for some of this kind of stuff. What about you, Alberto? Did you ever get teased at school?
Yes, I've been teased a lot, but I just say, that just words, they just teasing. Just as long as I'm working, I'm studying, and I'm doing my work good, that's okay for me. It'll affect me, not them. So, like I say, hey, it ain't affecting their grade, it's affecting mine. So I just put all that out of my head, and I just put my work in my head and just do it right.
Terrific, terrific. You got such a nice positive attitude about all the different things that you say and the way that you say them. I really love it. I have a problem with things mechanical. I just can't do I don't want to. I'm not interested in it. And as a result of it, I'm not very skillful in mechanical kinds of things. And I get frustrated. I really get frustrated. What do you guys do when you're frustrated with symbols, words, numbers? How do you take it out? What do you do, Mark?
The easiest thing for me is to blame myself, and then after that goes by, I try to say, okay, what can I do to not to overlook it, but what can I do that will be acceptable, or something that will just cover, that I could go on with the homework assignment or my life. So I just try to find some answer, some solution.
So you're kind of patient with yourself, is what I hear at times. Even though the frustration is there, you got to be patient. What do you do, Alberto?
Well, when I see a problem and I can't do it, I get, sometimes I get very mad. I just count up to 10, relax a little, and go back to the problem. And when I do the problem, it like I'm getting better and better. And so I just take that one step at a time, man.
You sound like the documentary that I did called I Think I Can, I Know I Can. You sound just exactly like, that choo-choo train that thinks it can and thinks it. How do you get to this place?
I work hard. I work hard getting there. And I work harder every day, and I just work harder until I get there.
One slow learner has said, because I had to work harder than my peers to get to where I am today, I'm better able to handle frustrations. In many ways, I'm better prepared for life. Do any of you feel that way too? Claudia?
Yes, I do. Since I learn slower than other people, I think I get the material better than they do. They just run through it, and since they think they know it better. I have time. I have to read it over and over to get to understand it, and I think I do understand it better than them because I spend more time on that.
Really? That's a neat way to look at it. A neat way to look at it. And you, Alberto, do you feel better prepared for life as a result of the fact that you're working and struggling so hard?
Yes, because all the hard working I'm doing right now, I know it go pay off in the future. And I know I have a good future because I'll just look back and say, hey, I worked very hard in the past, and I'm glad, where I am now.
What do you want to be?
A mechanic, diesel engineering.
Mechanic and diesel engineering. Do you have a particular strong thing for that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Are you good in that?
And it's one thing I've learned. I'm good with my hands. When I get a carburetor, I take it apart, and I could put it back again. I could put it back together again.
When I take a carburetor, I don't even know what a carburetor looks like.
Oh, well, it's part of a car, but what I'm saying...
It's the burrator part of the car, right, yeah.
So what I'm saying, when I'm good at this one particular thing, but it seems in school I have more trouble, and I get frustrated.
What do you want to be when you grow up, Danielle?
I'm not really sure.
No? Couple of things?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like what?
I guess what I'm really asking is, will it employ reading and writing and that kind of stuff, or are you going to stay away from that kind of stuff as a result of the problem?
One of the ideas I have.
Okay. Not too sure about that one.
I'm not too sure what I want.
All right. Mark, what about you? What are you going to be when you grow up?
I want to be an actor.
An actor?
I want to, or eventually become a teacher, an acting teacher at a high school or a junior high.
Then you're going to have a lot of reading to do.
Well, I mean, I act at school now and outside of school, and I read plays and because I have to do the part.
I remember that when I was interviewing one of my former students who really had a problem when he was in school, when he was in my class, as a matter of fact, he said that he could remember anything that anybody said. That was the compensation, that his auditory process was really terrific, even though his visual process, the reading process, wasn't working too well. Is that happening?
For me, acting has really been great because I have to believe that if it wasn't for acting, or if I didn't take classes, that because of my disability, I would have been just like locked in my closet and not being able to be on the show to even express myself.
Yeah, I really want to compliment all five of you. I think you are terrific for coming down and being on a program that's called Slow Learners. I mean, to be able to say that this is something that you have as a problem and talk about it, in public, I think says a lot about you. What do you want to be when you grow up, Savag?
I'm going to be a medical technologist in the Navy.
Well, I hope that there's no numbers involved with that, are there? No numbers.
Well, I have to do my best, in spite of the fact of my difficulty.
Okay, good. Good. Okay. Now, let me tell you this. Research says that sometimes the problems that you have in the time now that you're young may trail along with you for the rest of your life. And the reading problem, the numerical problems, the number problems may be there forever. What do you say to that? You're shaking your head vehemently.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because there's classes in school that you're not gonna, you're not gonna learn. When you get older, you're not gonna be studying biology, algebra. You're not gonna be using that stuff. So that's not gonna be really a problem for me because,
Okay, so that's gonna be past you.
Yeah, it's gonna be past me. I'm not gonna look in the future for that.
Okay, looking for X and Y, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be looking
You're gonna be looking for
the
different
genes and.
Okay, what about you, Alberto? Are you convinced that these problems will stay with you, or they're gonna be gone?
No, eventually they will be gone, because as I've seen, as the day go by, I'm progressing better and better, and I won't think it have effect on me.
Where do you see progress taking place for you?
In my math and in my reading.
Really?
Yeah.
There's changes, definite changes coming
Yeah,
about?
yeah, definitely. I could get a book right now and read the whole book without missing a few words. And I think that's some progress.
Okay. What do you say to yourself to help make yourself succeed and go forward and withstand the, you know, these problems?
Well, since I have a lot of communication with my parents, I just rewind my mind and...
Rewind my mind.
Yeah.
That's a good title for the show. I'm going to rewind my mind. Yeah.
And, well, I take the advice they give me. See, since I want to be a lawyer and I do not think that the disability is going to be with me because a lot of reading is involved with that, my parents said I give really good arguments, especially to them. And I take their advice, and especially my father's, because he wants me to become a lawyer. And he just gives me a lot of good advice. He says just as hard as a problem is that you cannot figure, it will overcome you because you have a lot of things to do.
Recently, I produced a documentary for the Los Angeles City Schools, which is a story of several young people and adults all sharing the common thread of a learning disability. I interviewed a young man who was successful at real estate, an actor who posed as Albert Einstein, who, as you know, had many learning difficulties, and a former student who is making his way into show business as a singer. I could have interviewed a countless number of other successful people who had or still have learning problems. People like Cher, Bruce Jenner, Tommy Smothers, and others. It's very reassuring to think of these talented, clever, and creative people overcoming learning obstacles on their road to success. For more information on learning disabilities, you want to write to the Association for Children and Adults with Learning Disabilities. They're at 4156 Library Road, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15234. Thank you, panel, very, very much. I really appreciated your positive input. You were terrific. For Teen Talk, this is Joseph Feinstein saying we'll see you very soon.